What's up, everybody? It's been a minute. I've missed you. I know that you've missed me. But I'm back. The Camaro is back. We're back from our long sabbatical. September 2023 was the last time I raced in the Camaro race. Well, that's technically not true. I raced last weekend. You're going to see that in a sec. But been away for a minute. Mikey and Greg have been holding down the channel with all the Boo content, and there's going to be more of that coming. But the Camaro's back out. I'm going to walk you through some of the changes that happened over the past year, some of the changes that didn't happen over the past year, and we'll talk about the first race of the season back. So thanks for hanging out. And I apologize for the handheld shots. My tripod is off living a better life and doing better things, and I wish it very well, and I hope to hear from it soon. So let's talk the past year and what has happened with the Camaro and what hasn't happened with the Camaro. So I mentioned, took some time away, doing some stuff on the house. You can only spend so much money in so many places. So the Camaro took a back seat to some of that, but some stuff did happen over time. And so I want to kind of cover what my plans were and what I managed to accomplish and really what I didn't accomplish all the way. But it's all good. Car's here, I'm here. You're here.
I love you, man.
Yeah, and I love you too, Terry.
No, I mean it, man. I love you.
No, I mean it. I love you.
No, you don't, man. I love you.
So the most significant change to the car, and I mentioned this in the last video, is that Hoosier stopped making the 28-inch tall rear slick that I was running on this car. Well, that's true and that's not true. They were going to stop. Some competitors convinced them to continue to make it, and so they are making it. I have decided to stay with the smaller tire for a couple reasons. So despite the fact that Hoosier decided they were going to continue to make the bigger slick, I've opted to stay on this tire, which is the I think it's like a 26-inch tall tire. I have to do the math. I'll put it down below. I might not put it down below. I don't know how to do that. But I decided to go with this setup. The rationale behind it is at some point this car is going to run 200 tread wear street tires. Does that mean it won't be a CP car anymore? Not necessarily. Does it mean it's going to be a cam car? Maybe, kinda, but also who knows? The truth is the 200 tread wears are kind of the writing on the wall. A lot of classes are going that way. But also there's a lot more events that support that tire. King of the Mountain being not too far from here, one of the primary ones, and I want to be able to run that stuff. Plus, with some of the surfaces, some of the locations I run, burning through some really expensive slicks is just not really worth it, especially like at the last event that I was at where you're the only car on slicks. Also, it saves me on having a set of wets set up for slicks. That and technically this car, by some weird Maryland laws, is street legal. I owned this car in 1999. It was my daily driver in college. And so if I want, I can do a couple things to it and put plates on it and drive it around. Probably won't commute in it, but having some road legal tires might be a fun way to get ice cream on occasions. Going with the shorter tire in the back, still sticking right now with the 16-inch by 14-inch, so 16-inch diameter, 14-inch wide rear wheels, and I made a change in the front to kind of coordinate with that. And here's that massive change that I just mentioned. This is a 16 by 14-inch rim on the front of the car where I used to run the 16 by 13, which are hiding up there. I know, huge change, it's shocking, but now I have a nice square and very wide and nicely supported setup on the front of this car. And I can tell you already it feels pretty damn good. Another change I made on the car, as I mentioned before, are the doors. The car is now sporting factory steel doors. Of course, I modified them a little bit. Been about a year, so forgive me if I didn't cover it in a previous video, but these are factory doors. I removed the door beam that goes inside here. It's a major contributor to weight in this car, or at least in the door. And then I also just cut any metal out that I could cut out. In fact, we sneak a look under here. Speed holes. In addition to that, I got some aluminum door panels made by a guy down in Florida. I modified a little bit from what he had, but they work pretty well. And you'll notice right here, there's a window crank.
Fuck! They're trying to make it look fake! Slow down! You gotta be right next to me for it to look real. You gotta be right next to me. Everybody tries to make it look fake. Fuckers!
So in addition to the roll-up windows, I now have side mirrors and I can put magnets on the side of the car. So like win-win on the door, and it added up 100 pounds to the car for both doors, and that's real factory glass. So there's a company that makes Lexan that I could put in the sides and take weight out, but all in all, gaining 100 pounds, which let me take 100 pounds of ballast out, so the car's still right at minimum weight. It's pretty decent. So those are kind of the changes to the outside of the car that are a little more evident. Let me talk about a couple of things that changed under the skin, I guess. Is that a way to say it? I don't know. The things you can't see. Trust me when I say that I am as, if not more, sick of this than you are. But another change that happened in the car is the exhaust. I had wanted to, over the year break, take this exhaust, get rid of the side exit and run out the back. The biggest problem with the side exit is not that it looks cool. It's that oftentimes it's aimed directly at the sound meter, which sucks. You want to focus on your runs. You don't want to worry about getting penalized or disqualified for being over sound, and this doesn't help things. Long story short, didn't have enough time to get to it, so we're still exiting out the side. But what I've done is I've switched back to an older set of mufflers. These are the Spintex that I used to run. They were the quietest of the three. I've had Flowmasters, I've had Borlas, and the Spintex in the car. These were consistently the quietest. And then I put several of those exhaust cones into the system to quiet this thing down. Still sounds good. We'll find out soon if it's too loud. So that's one change, but let me show you something I didn't expect. The tire change in the back, going from the 28-inch tall to the 25, 26-inch tall tire. One of the supporting changes that I had to make for that is changing the rear gearing. I'm shooting for, mid 70 miles an hour at the top of second gear. And so going to a shorter tire and not changing that rear gear would throw that ratio off. And so one of the things I had to do was swap the rear gear out. It's a Ford 9-inch, it's a fairly straightforward operation. I wasn't exactly prepared for what I found inside. So this is what came out of the rear of the Camaro. And this is only after a couple seasons and frankly, not a lot of run time. This is the pinion gear. It should not look like that. It shouldn't have chunks missing, and the edges of those gears should be a lot thicker. When we come here and we look at the ring gear, we can kind of see we've got pieces missing. It's super thin, and you can see, especially I guess in those highlighted areas kind of over here, you can see how scalloped all of that is. Well, when I pulled the differential out of the car and went to take it apart to swap the gears, all of the ring bolts were hand tight. It was like they were never torqued, like they were never Loctited, and there was an extreme amount of backlash in the rear end. I'm not going to call it the company that I paid a lot of money to have that rear end assembled, but let me just say that it is very strange that something like that happened. So new gear went in, triple checked on torque, Loctite everywhere, went through the backlash a bunch, and I'm happy to report that for its first outing, it did pretty well. Car felt good. Far less noisy than that setup was because it was self-destructing. So fingers crossed this one lasts a little bit longer. So those are kind of the broad sweeping changes of the car. A wheel change in the front, a tire change in the back, a gear change, and some steel doors with some roll-up windows. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but again, hey, I was working on a kitchen. What can you do? My other projects are still very much in the works. I'm still planning on putting ABS on this car. I'm going to dedicate a whole video to kind of the work done there. Eventually I want to go electric water pump, electric power steering, those kind of things. I was hoping to hit those, just didn't get a chance to. And it's more important to get this car out and get it running. And so that's what I did. Last weekend, took the car to BMC number 1. That's the Brandywine Motorsports Club. It was their first race of the season, which sounds late for June, but that race was delayed. They got me in there. I was super happy to go. There were a little over 80 competitors. Mikey and Greg were there with Boo. Boo is out here looking like it has all the downforce. I brought the Camaro and I was stoked. So I'm out here at the BMC event. It's a June event. They marked it as one. It was postponed at one point. So we're here. This is my first event in over a year, since Nationals 2023. So see how it goes. Waiting for Mikey and Greg to get here, so a little bit of Team Zip Tie representing. And yeah, check in. Got there, got the car set up. Everything was good to go. Previously, I corner balanced, dialed in the suspension, kind of started things where they were a year and a half ago suspension-wise, and went out and ran the car. First run, only one part fell off the car, one of those little exhaust cones, no biggie. Second run, another part fell off the car, which is just a little clip holding a mirror. Like, this is C-Prepared stuff. But I left the car alone for the first 2 runs. It drove okay, but as you'll see in a sec, it was getting a little bit loose, especially, well, I say especially under braking, but kind of everywhere. So after those first 2 runs, I started making kind of the normal adjustments. I had a little too much oversteer, so I was playing with rebound and compression and doing all the things you're supposed to do. In this case, kind of softening the back to see if I could get it to stick. And, well, it got far worse. unfortunately, making the changes you're supposed to make were making the car worse. And I remembered a conversation I had with Sam Strano when I was running out at the Mid-State Airport up in State College, Pennsylvania. And I kind of had the same problem. Car was getting loose, and all the things I was doing that you're supposed to do to make the car better in that case wasn't working. And so he looked me plainly in the eye and said, well, if that's not working, do the opposite. And so that's what I did. I stiffened up the back of the car, and for my fifth and final run, things were way better. So I kind of walked away from that, one, happy that the car made all 5 runs and only 2 fairly inconsequential parts fell off the car. Got back on the trailer. I had a great day with friends, great weather, awesome group to race with. All around, I kind of forgot how much I missed being out racing, even at just local events. So as soon as I got back with the car, and after thinking about it a little bit and taking note and the changes I made, decided that the car it's got to be way too soft in the back. So I've since swapped to some stiffer springs, and the next event coming up is actually back at the Mid-State Airport for the Cone Killer Classic, and that's in 2 weeks from now. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna get a ton of runs in the car, gonna really get an opportunity to dial this in. A bunch of Team Zip Time members are coming up, and it's gonna be a really good time. So look forward to a nice long video of all of us kind of reuniting for the first time in a while. This thing running back out there, and fingers crossed that it's even better and faster. I forgot, I've also got to turn this into another one of these. It's falling apart a little bit, so time to freshen up. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Sorry, I'm a little rusty on making these. I'm also a little rusty on driving this. Hopefully that gets better as the season goes on. But thank you for watching this. Thanks for all your feedback. Your comments are awesome. If you're at a local race with me, come say hi, sit in the car, go for a ride along. I don't know, the keys are in it. And I'll see you guys next time.
Garth, hey, come over here. I think Terry has something he wants to say to you. I love you, man.
Thank you.